Hmm. Good morning, boys. Good two in edge. Nickel and BG. Connor, what's up? Azar, what's up, brother? Let's go, George. Bullish for today. Quite possible. Quite possible. Of course, I have bias. Let's go, Chico. Let's go to OC. You think we consolidate potentially the first 30 minutes, but I don't think it'll be. I don't think it'll just be like a sideways full session. Back in action this week. Nice to meet. Nice to see that, brother. Nice to see that. Put in a lot of work. Ready to execute this week. Wait for people to join up here. For those of you on TikTok, can you guys see the numbers? Hopefully. If you can't, well, oh well. There's not much I can do. You guys can't see the numbers? I do a scale. Isn't what we had an overnight move? Isn't what we had an overnight move doesn't usually mean that P is usually bad? Yes, and we did have a pretty good overnight move here. You are right. First 30 minutes, you want to be a little bit skeptical. Every day is a trading day today. Every day, for me, every day except Thursday. I'll be live. I'll be tape reading, paper trading, but not on live funds. Give me a moment to sign in with my broker here. We're still early. We still got time. Um, let's let people join up. To the broker. Chart ready. Good TP5. We'll cover buys, don't worry. Did you scale the screen? I'm not sure what that means. Let me just sign into my accounts. So what's going on? There's no CPI? I've been hearing a lot of news saying no CPI. No CPI means... I mean, I still see CPI. It's good. I don't know. Kiss Bay. Went on a little holiday last week, so missed a pretty decent week. I mean, listen. Some people will tell you it was a decent week. Some people will tell you it was the worst week. None of it really matters. We'll cover buys. Don't worry, brother. Trading was good. You only see PMI today, yeah. PMI. Did you read the Epstein files? No, brother. I have a lot better stuff to do than read the Epstein files. All right. So I'll have the S&P 500 open up today. I'm probably gonna execute S&P. I've just been doing a lot of backtests on it recently, a lot of statistics. So just want to keep it consistent. It's also better risk, more controlled. Um, doesn't mean it's better, but for now. Focus will be on S&P 500. We'll have the Nasdaq open. Maybe I'll make a switch if I need to, but for the most part, it will be S&P. It's about 9:20. We'll give it around 2 minutes before we start doing an outlook for the day and week. I'm gonna put two charts on the same screen. You have to go to the top right setting of Trading View, and you can go to Layouts, and then click the split screen. Top right's like a little square. Looks like a blank square. I want to keep this Sydney annotated from overnight session inside the gap. Yo, Gaddy, remember our discussion about withdrawing to Wise on Thursday? Alpha do crypto payouts now since then? They do Rise. So I think Rise, like, I don't know exactly how Rise works, but I'm pretty sure that's like crypto, pretty much. It's not like really crypto, but it's like basically crypto. Go BG. Go Sonu. What's the chart on the left? ES? We're looking at the S&P 500 chart, yeah. Wait, is this ICT? What do you mean is this ICT? Am I ICT? No. Learn from ICT, yeah. This is correct information. Anyone who's experiencing trading issues can connect my trading view to broker also. You signed on to Tradeaway website? You look like James Huddleston? How much you have to pay for tax at the end of the year? Brother, why do you want to know that number? I have to pay a good amount. Let's just say that. It's not a fun amount. It's not a fun amount. It's gonna be like over 30%. Should I hold my trade if it's 10 a.m.? Yeah, I like the unrealized P&L too. Although it's not even all my accounts. Like it's only gonna be, I'll be trading 9 accounts. It's only gonna be 6 of them. Anyways, let's break it down. So Asia opens, we fill NWOG, we break aggressively, and looks like we got a London reversal profile on the day. We have Asia high intact. I'm going into the day not expecting this low to get taken. I know I posted a TikTok saying like I'd be bearish, but I mean, with an 82-point rally in London session and pre-market. So, I'm not hiding the chart names. It's just I trade with full screen, so you guys can't see it because I have to zoom, but it's ES. I mean, if you're on YouTube, you can see the numbers right here. So London reversal, pretty simple. Statistically speaking, we're not likely to take out this low. So any daily protraction model would be a valid setup long. So any discount PD array would be a valid discount long. So this 15-minute gap, maybe this low, maybe this gap, maybe this OB. Anything in here, once it aligns with time and we get a clean setup with intermarket analysis, I'll push the buy button targeting Asia highs. If we do take Asia highs, at that point in time, it's kind of 50-50 in my opinion. The reason it's 50-50 after Asia highs is because if we're going to get a range-bound session, we're just going to take the highs, work the range, and we'll get like a 50-50 day, right? So if that's the case, then we don't really get any clean, what's it called? One-side expansion. So right now, main objective is Asia highs. I'm looking to take out that overnight high. I think we can take out that overnight high given the London profile. Once we do that, do we have room for higher? Yes. I mean, we have buy side here, right? Previous AM session high, Asia high here. So we could continue higher, but like I said, it's not going to be like guaranteed. Like we could take Asia high and then just fall back lower. So we'd have to wait for more market information. Once we take out the Asia high, we're not just going to take the trade. Appreciate you, Dimitri's. This low is below the daily opening price. We have a breaker above it. and a lot of displacement between that and this low. So we can come back down. We could get down pretty low here. We can trade to this hourly fair value gap. We can even really trade back to here off the original order block. I don't want to see that, but I respect this. I want this one to be respected. So we can take out this low, these lows here, but I wouldn't want to see much lower than that. Yeah. So we'll see what happens on market open. We can get a simple setup. We do have 10 a.m. news today, and we had a large expansion pre-market. So first 30 minutes, we're going to be extra cautious. Just be extra cautious first 30 minutes because large overnight move, and we have 10 a.m. news. So, don't want to be aggressive in the first 30 minutes. I'm going to be working on S&P this week. We'll just see how it goes. And yeah, all the accounts open. Good. Easy game plan. This is ES. Bias, I mean, right now I'm anticipating a run to Asia high, overnight high, and then from there we need to wait for more information. I don't know if we're going to continue or just go back into the range. So we'll have to see. We'll just take what the market gives me at that point, If we do catch along to Asia highs, like I won't necessarily just like full close, like because there are potential objectives that are, quite significant. 25 points above the buy side is this ultimate buy side here, and then obviously here. Let's say here. So like there's potential, but you don't really know. What times do you use? Anything before midnight opening price is Asia session for me. Anything before 6 a.m. is London session for me. Let's just keep it simple and consistent. I'm not gonna mark out London lunch and pre-Asia. Yeah, I have the Apex accounts. What you thinking? Just missed it. We're looking for a run to Asia high. That's gonna be the game plan for today. That's the trade I want to capture. I think it's a high probability target for the day, given that London low is likely not to be taken. So if we can get a setup to Asia high, that would be most ideal. Obviously, not going to chase it. Goal for this trade, goal for this day and this week. What are we rocking with? Goals for this day and week. Obviously, we always have the main goal. Don't lose more than $400 in one day. So that's always going to be a goal. That's the maximum loss per day. So that's goal number one. Goal number two, obviously, execute diligently the checklist. Make sure every trade follows the trade checklist. Right now everything's very solid. We just need a strong setup with confluences. That's also risk optimal. Besides that, easy month or easy day, easy week. So how to make your own trading model? You got to get to the charts and back test, brother. You got to get to the back test charts. So that's the game plan. Don't lose more than $400 today. Make sure every trade follows the checklist. Cut the losers early, ride the winners, and then just take what the market gives you. Those are the goals. So let's drop down to the 1 minute chart, and we'll see what market open does for us. Now I'd want to see all this cleaned up ideally. Now we could even find a long setup from here. You know what? I would probably execute early if it forms really clean and strong. Now, if it doesn't form clean and strong and I start seeing anything that looks like this on the open, we're simply going to wait for 10 a.m., right? 10 a.m. red folder. Put this in here. 10 a.m. red folder. Anything else I want to talk about before market open? No major discount. Actually, Apex 90% off. That one's still live. I don't know how many more days. It's probably going to end soon. It actually might have already ended. I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me. But we got 10 Apex accounts for CPI. If should that want to be present. So I'll do CPI with you guys. And Apex 9% off until Wednesday. Okay, you have until Wednesday, so pretty good. All right, first things first. Opening range gap. I want to see it on the S&P. Nice gap. Open, close. So we definitely want to target that gap fill today. How many points on that? 20 points. Yeah. So statistically speaking, we're really likely to get a gap fill. Not in the first 13 minutes, but not in the first 30 minutes, but I mean, we'll likely get a gap fill. I did a lot of coding this weekend. Coding. Already hit 50%. To be honest, it's only a 50% chance we get gap fill if it's. Oh no, sorry, it's 70% chance by end of day, 50% chance by lunch. So I don't want to fade the gap fill personally. I think we get gap fill. We'll see. Be patient with that. I'm gonna show you guys a 30-second chart. So we move up, trade to 50% org, take out some, trade inside that SIBI. So for those who trade the inversion model, I don't know if this is your model, but that's a 30-second chart. What numbers I want to keep up here? I gotta clean this up because make this our org settings. So you can already see how we're having back and forth. That's I do not want to rush a trade right now. So just gonna let it do its thing. I think it's gonna potentially pull higher, but again, I'm just gonna let it do its thing because it's really sloppy. Lucid Trading is just a new prop firm. They got 40% off. Well, yes, and not NQ. I'm gonna be working with ES for some time. There we get the expansion. Looks like we'll go straight to Asia high, in which case that puts us in a neutral stance, and we have to wait for more information. I don't know if we're going to get a trend day or if we're going to get a range day. If we get a range day, then when we take Asia high, we should aggressively break lower or consolidate and then 10 a.m. break lower. Either or, two scenarios. If we have a range day, that's what would likely happen. If we're going to have a trend day, we look for a 10 a.m. protraction silver bullet model targeting the buy side. So that would be our game plan. So we've worked all the way through this city, so I'm very confident that we're bullish, at least right now. So again, there's no model here for me. Could have taken the 30-second, but that's awful. If I'm being honest, it's pretty awful. So we're just gonna let it go, see what happens. I'm gonna remove this red line. Upper right is dollar index. You don't have to really look at dollar index. That's why I made this one specifically bigger. Done for the day. You're gonna trade the evals on CPI, brother. That's in like 8 days or something. Well, yes and no. In Q, just better risk, and I have a lot of data. I've been doing a lot of backtesting and data collection on ES, so just trying to stay consistent with what I've been working on. Dollar index is falling lower. See if it can break below this low. That'd be a good sign. Yeah, take a look at YM. Great shooter, nice. Yeah. So it looks like we'll go straight to the H high potentially. Hard to know for sure. You know what I can do for you guys since you guys can't see the there. Now you guys can see at the bottom, right? It says what chart and what time frame. You guys can see that? You guys must be able to. Anyways, there's no setup for me here. You could, hypothetically take a long like this. It's really sloppy. Trying to trade Apex today? Of course, why not? Yeah, I mean, I'll be full porting CPI on live stream with you guys. If there is a CPI candle. Excuse me. You're scared from hidden rules? You can full port CPI. Well, CPI is not at 10. CPI is in like a week and a half. There's Oric fill. Pretty rare we get an Oric fill that fast on a 20-point gap. Interesting. I mean, I guess it was just 20 points, so technically that's like a 50% chance that we get that fill in the first 30 minutes, so that's pretty interesting. I'd be really bullish today. Live visibility restricted. Why am I always getting restricted, bro? So straight to overnight highs. Yeah. I'm thinking this could possibly just be a trend day. It's very possible. It's PM high. I just may have to take a silver bullet post 10 a.m. Now we'll see what happens. But at this point in time, I'm gonna have to wait until 10 a.m. There's no way I can execute a trade now. Now that we're taking out, the easy objective. I don't know how much higher we can go. So just gonna have to wait and see. Is it funded? I don't think so. Maybe. I would look at the FAQ. Yeah, I mean, there was setups. There was setup. We talked about this one that you could take for 2R. There was setups. There was 1.6, but nothing clear. I want to see a manipulation below the opening price. We didn't get that. So see, now if we're range bound, we get something like this, or we get consolidation until 10 and then something like this. If it's a range day, meaning not a trend day. If it's a trend day, which I think it very well can be, this low is probably going to be safe. In which case, we'll likely take out the Friday buy side here. 9.5, a little bit higher. So we'll see. We may have to take a silver bullet protraction. I'm leaning towards a trend day. But we'll see. Not really clean setup in there, unfortunately. I really want to be a participant to Asia High, but fortunately, just kind of went straight up. Gold, pretty valid to me. Looks pretty bullish to me. You could probably target the overnight high as well, right here. I don't know how you're gonna find a setup, but SPY. Ah. A little bit for more information. It's Top Step. It's 700. Only drawdown will be 700. Yeah, that's what happens when you trade with Top Step. It's okay. I mean, I would still take it if it's your first ever payout. I'll still take it. I think we're really bullish here. If we get closure here, I might just take a really. It's a pretty easy trade. We already failed to get the closure though. I was gonna say a protraction to previous PM high. We got the 5-minute gap. I may take that early if it forms on all of them. Otherwise, it can go sideways here. Instead, look at 30-minute chart. That's great. If we get a protraction out of this, 5-day protraction, deal. Let's say hypothetically we get a fill. 7.7 times 5, 35. So at least 3 contracts. We can probably work in the range closer to like 4 or 5. Yeah, I don't really want to buy it above this high. It's not a clean protraction model. It really could play out quickly, like, and the reason I say this is because it could be a trend day, in which case it just keeps going. 3R setup. I just need a little bit of a better manipulation, you know? Too sloppy on these 2 candles for my liking. So probably gonna wait till 10 for now. I'm gonna have to. Although I like the setup, like it would be something like this above that high. So you gotta feel like here. If it's a trend day, I do think it'll play out. But I have to wait for a better setup with stronger confluences. It's not strong enough. It's a good setup, but it's not strong enough. Contract size depends on your stop loss placement, brother. There is no ideal. You can't trade with the same amount of contracts every time. Doesn't make sense. Depends on how large your stop loss is. Good, Mike. Good luck, brother. Better setup will be from the 5-minute gap or the 10-minute that just formed. Or actually, it's still forming. Forexfactory.com. Yeah, I think it's just gonna trend personally, but again, I don't want to trade based on a fear of missing the move. I still need to wait for a strong setup with confluences. This is not a strong setup, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes with a wick just to get above one down close candle. No clear retracement just on the 1 minute time frame. So not that it's like it's still there because we put in the low, made the higher high, but just need a little bit more. If you look at the Nasdaq as well, doesn't really look as strong as the S&P. So YM is stronger, but I'd rather wait for a better setup. That seems to be working for me. Believe it, there really hasn't been that large of a move. I mean, above the open, 30 points. So, like, yeah, overall, we've moved quite a bit. But we haven't really accomplished that much besides running the overnight high. You know, like if we're bullish, all we've done is take out the overnight high. We haven't taken out any external objectives. You know, besides in today's trading day, we haven't taken out any previous liquidity pools. So that's why I still think I think this is going to be a trend day, in which case this low probably not going to be taken. Obviously, I could be wrong, but for now, that's the assumption we're going with. I think the narrative is pretty clear. We can find a continuation setup. Just have to wait. Yeah, looks like this will go to previous PM session high. Nasdaq's still not going though, so I wouldn't even trust. I wouldn't have even trusted the trade anyways. It would have been so nice if we just swept the lows here first. Like if this candle just went a little bit lower, you know, we got something a little bit more like not just boom boom. Oh, your longs, good luck, bro. Yeah, so first 15 minutes is done. Taking out some objectives. Surprised that stock market's still down. Usually would have rebounded by now. Oh, okay, no. We rebounded. Some stocks at least. Not bad. There's previous PM session high. I personally think we can continue. Like I think this is a trend day. I think we can go all the way to previous day's high. 6695. We just have to find a good setup. I mean, this low. Nah, see the issue is now we put in this low here, which is a 10-minute gap. Yeah, I guess I'd have to see that get taken, right? I'd have to see that get taken. So a setup like this, obviously, the issue is if we do get speed back below and we get that break at that point, are we even bullish? You know, are we gonna come back and see a sell side sweep and more range bound? So we have to wait for a very clear narrative here to be careful. I'll be trading ES. I just gotta be more cautious here. So far, no setup anyways, besides that one tape read. Why not? And QES just been collecting a lot of data and backtesting on it recently. It's really the same. Like it really doesn't matter. MES is $5 per point, so you'll be able to get multiple contracts. While on Nasdaq, I may only be able to trade like one or two. On ES, I'll be able to trade three, four, maybe five. So I get more control of the trade management. A lot better for risk. Yeah. And while quadrants, it's not too important for me. Not anymore. Oh, looks like it's gonna be a trend day. The 938. 938 on the S&P or Nasdaq. 25,938. I don't know. I don't even see what that is really. The buy side here, the previous AM session high, so up here. Yeah, I mean, yeah, valid. Risky premium. It doesn't. Listen, premium is all subjective. You know, premium is all subjective. If we're gonna go, if we're gonna go all the way, let's just say out of for crazy sake, we're gonna go to all-time highs today. Does the market look like it's in a premium to you or in a discount? I would say this is a very good discount if we're gonna go all the way up to all-time highs. Wouldn't you agree? We're all the way down here, and all-time highs is all the way up there. Now, if we're only gonna go to a previous AM session high, yeah, you probably don't want to take a trade right now because we're very close to that target. So it all depends on how high you think the market can expand. You know. Well, can you guide as a beginner which future funded account to go with startup? Alpha Future Zero account. Take care, SciTech. Appreciate you. Yeah. Didn't even get a chance to buy this buy contract. It's gonna be hard to find a setup now. I mean, I'll take the first retraction that forms most likely and just follow the trend. Setup like this is not even bad. 3.3 R. I need to wait for a protraction though. Unless I put my stop here, but that's not a good trade. Because that's the previous protraction. That's not even a valid protraction. Actually, yeah, it is. 3 minute gap, DOB. Yeah, I could do something like this. Deferred protraction model. It's not my style. Not really my style. Not FOMO. I mean, we have a very obvious, clear trend day with a very strong target. You know, I'm not scared to lose money. The markets can be very strong trend, and I take a aggressive trade here, and we just failed stop trending. Okay, the market stopped trending. If the market's gonna keep trending, it makes perfect sense. Why did not expect a reversal? I mean, we swept out previous week's low. We did a lot of work below midnight opening price, and then we got the breaker. So just statistically speaking, we're not likely to take out this low here now that it's below the opening price and we broke above. Same thing here. Although we didn't have any manipulation below, we did have a very strong break above. So uh, this protraction model is not ideal. What's the risk on this? That's not a risk optimal. I still need a risk optimal setup. We're gonna have to wait till after 10 most likely now. 938 protraction. This one, just way too sloppy. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes with a huge wick. Say you waited 5 minutes, so you're here. Nasdaq was still consolidating at this time, and we just took out the buy side, so it wasn't really the strongest. Like, it wasn't really the strongest narrative. There's no restricted countries on CMEs. I don't understand what that is. You have to. The reason you have delayed data is because you have to pay for real data or get a proper account with real data. And the reason you can't place a trade is because you didn't sign the agreement with TradeOvate. That's all. How much budget do you build first on Top Step to get a payout? You want to get it above 2,000 ideally. You know, fortunately, you're gonna want to build that buffer on Top Step. At least, like at the very least, make 2,000, then request 500. But realistically, you want to get above 2,000. Like if you want to be, really safe. Yeah, no setup in here. Yeah, me added a lot of countries to the ban list over the weekend. Wait, really? Apex, you need a buffer. You don't even have a choice. So, yeah, you got to work on it. You risk less on Monday? No. Is that a 5 minute gap? No. Yeah, I just need a little bit more. If we could take out a low, that's what would be nice. If we can take out a low, maybe if we're lucky, we get the 15-minute gap tap before we take out the buy side. What would you recommend for Apex? You got to slow and steady build the account up. Okay, we're gonna wait for the 15-minute gap. I'd only question being bearish if we break below Asia high. Why do you need a buffer? You just need a buffer to get a payout. It's a requirement. Apex looks like the hardest prop firm. It is one of the hardest, yeah. But I mean, 20 accounts, right? It's the hardest because you can make the most money. So then what happens to newly purchased accounts? Is the money gone? I have no idea. I have no idea. I know. So what would you recommend? Yeah, you gotta be slow and steady with Apex. Don't rush the process. After Apex Eval, how much did you make the request? Once you get to 2,600 on a 50K funded, you can request $500 and then just go from there. You have to request above the buffer. No trades yet. I have 10 Apex evals that I'll be looking to full port on CPI. I heard you once talking about a 4-hour video on order block theory. It's on ICT's YouTube channel. It's called what was it called? Like Advanced Theory on Order Blocks or something like that. Like deep dive into order block. It's like you won't miss it. It's like literally the longest one. On Tradeify, what do you need for a payout? Depends which firm. I mean, which plan. I don't think you need a buffer, but like technically you need. It's like Top Step. Like they say you don't need a buffer. All 10 account, yeah, all 10. I won't be. You're not gonna watch me trade an Apex eval. Let's just say that. Okay, I like this. We're gonna get a 15-minute gap. When you get to 52.6, you just keep withdrawing 500 every time you make 500. No, you need 8 trading days every time. Are you gonna trade the CPI like half and buy? Nope, you're gonna do buy stops and sell stops on either end, and then news candle will take over the rest. It's like a 70% or 80% success rate. If you do it with Apex, it's like 90% success rate. So hopefully we're not a part of the 10% that fails to accomplish it. Wait, so how much you need to make a pair before you can get a pair on Apex? You need 2,600. Growth 50K? Yeah, you don't need a buffer. Like you can make some winning days and then just request, but you'll likely build the account unless you do build a buffer. So I'm not gonna mark it out. You guys see the 15-minute gap. We're gonna look for longs from the 15. Why is it 90% with Apex? Because they know CPI is coming, bro. They know people are gonna full port CPI. And honestly, you should, bro. I'm gonna be honest. There's literally like a 90% chance you pass. See, the thing is, Shaheem, even with 40-point CPI manipulation, like you'll be fine with Apex because you can do 10 minis on the 50K. So you only need like 15 points to pass. You know? How far will you put the orders? I'm deciding if I want to do like 1-point market orders with 15-point TP because I only need, right? Or if I'm gonna do like a 30-point 40-point entry. You know, I'll tell you like 40 points on Apex just to be safe. On Tradeify growth, you need to earn 3K to be able to pay out on 5K. There you go. I'm gonna do like 30. I mean, it depends what account you're working with, right? Apex is 10 minis, so my take profit only needs to be like 15 points or something, right? So PPI is like next week. PPI is next Wednesday, I think, or Tuesday. Anyways, so news dropped. 15-minute gap. You guys know the drill. If we can get something like this, that would be A plus. If we break below overnight high, this line right here, if we break below, that's kind of a red flag. I'd really want to see us break back above. But yeah, I could do NFP, but I'm not in a rush. I mean, I have the accounts. I might as well just wait for CPI, which is more likely. How is it 90% when it's volatile 50-50? No, it's not 50-50 because you're not just buying or selling. You're putting buy stops and sell stops on either end with a 10-point TP. So what's the 90% chance? There's a 90% chance that if CPI rallies in one direction, 40 points, that it'll continue to rally at least 15 more points. You know? There's a 90% of the time, if CPI pumps in one direction off the open, 40 points, that it'll continue at least 10 to 15 more points, right? So very, very simple math. Now, can you get spread out? Can your fill be bad? Can you maybe something like that wrong happens? Yeah, it happens. It's not short or long. You're gonna play both sides. And by the way, you're not allowed to do this unfunded, at least with most firms. But I don't really use data lows and highs. I just look at buy side and sell side. Yeah, I'm gonna do the max minis. Yeah, a lot of stuff can go wrong. So I mean, you obviously at the end of the day, it's listen. The outcome of one individual trade is always going to be random. So don't show up expecting to make money. The outcome is random. If we don't get that 15-minute gap, I can't take the long, unfortunately. So it needs to come back. We can tape read it, but I won't be able to take the trade. Needs to touch the 15-minute gap. I have a lot of payouts. Does take profit trader allow news on eval? Yes. Can I have full port CPI with an Apex funded? No. You can full port CPI, but you can't do the buy and sell stop method. You'll get denied. Not the opening price. Usually you do like a good amount of points above. I'm probably going to do 40 points above. You don't want to do it right away because you may get wicked. I mean, if you're asking me, I'd say I would have been profitable for a good amount of time now. I've kind of always made more money than I put into prop firms. Best account for fast payouts. If you want the fastest, like you want to be aggressive on the account, like the truly fastest account to get a payout with, probably Funded Next Rapid. Probably one of the fastest. Funded Next Rapid. No eval. You can pass eval in 1 day, and you can get payout in up to 3 days. Yeah, Lucid Black. Lucid Black. Yeah, I do Lucid Black actually. It's like a little bit better. Alpha Zero buffer? Hell no. If you're trading Alpha Zero, the max payout is 1500 anyways. You don't need a buffer. I'm assuming if you're trading Alpha Zero, you don't have that many payouts under your name. In which case, why go through the hassle of trying to build a buffer? Just take it slow and steady. Make a decent amount of money. You can easily make more than minimum wage. Start there, and then you can scale up after. Yeah, I mean, the way this form sucks, but it is what it is. Yeah, I'll place the orders like 1 minute before CPI comes out. If you still haven't had a payout but can request one, would you build a buffer more or get payouts? Depends which firm, right? I usually say request a payout, but that's why I tell people to go to Alpha Zero, because you don't need to build a buffer. You trade with Alpha Zero, you don't need the buffer. You can just request. No thoughts, questions. No, it's not a buffer, because if you make $1,000, JK, you can request 500, and you don't have 500 left. You have 1,500 left. You know what you get what I'm saying? So yes, you can only request 50% of what you make, but you don't need to make a lot of money. You can make $1,000 and request 500, and you have 1,500 left. Black line is NWOG high. Red line is just the Asia high, overnight high. With CPIs, easy to pass Alpha Zero like Apex? Yeah, same. If CPI is going to expand, then yeah. Oh, it's really unfortunate. I mean, it's not like it was a really risk optimal setup anyways. Like best case scenario, maybe two. Well, best case scenario is we go all the way to all-time highs. Unfortunately. No really easy setup, huh? I wouldn't call this a missed entry. My model didn't form, unfortunately. You know? It's what it is. There isn't a minimum amount you have to make on alpha to request. You just need consistency. That's it. So you can make like $600. Colin Hall, I'd recommend Alpha Zero, brother. Start easy with Alpha Zero and then move into other firms. I say that because you don't need to make a lot of money on Alpha Zero to get a payout. If you make 1,000, I would recommend you take a payout. If you trade with Top Step, you got to go like above 2,000. Apex need a buffer. Realistically, every other firm, unless you want to blow the account, but if you're low on funds, you don't want to blow the account. You know, the Lucid Black require buffer. It doesn't require buffer. Like none of the firms require buffer. But if you request payout before building buffer, you're going to have most likely not that much money left on the account, right? So you kind of need a buffer. Does Lucid Black require one? No. If your goal is one very easy, quick payout, and then you don't care what happens, yeah, Lucid Black's probably the best option out there right now. If your goal is just one payout, and you don't care what happens after, you just want one super easy payout, the account might get blown, may not get blown, Lucid Black is the account to go to. If you want to get multiple payouts that are very easy, Alpha Zero. If we were going to be super bullish, wouldn't you want that 15-minute to be a breakaway gap and then 5? Yeah, if we were going to be super bullish, you would be. But I don't want to see a 15-minute breakaway gap up here because now that we're already expanded so much, this is not when I would anticipate super bullishness. If the target's here, I would expect super bullishness down here in discount. You know? If we're all the way near target, that's when you expect more of a sloppier, slower, deeper retracement. So yeah, you're right. It is very bullish, the fact that we didn't trade into it. But I wouldn't be looking for it to be super bullish above, because we already took buy side. I wouldn't be expecting it to be super bullish above buy side. Does that make sense? Now down here makes sense. We're in a hurry. We gotta run the buy side. We gotta get these people out. It should be quick. Up here, we took out buy side. Usually you want to see, run on short-term lows and such. I mean, listen, the truth is if you guys want to get a payout, it doesn't matter which firm. You're going to have to change how you view trading. It's going to be a mindset thing. Like you could do it on Apex, you can do it on Alpha, you can do it on any firm you want. At the end of the day, it's going to be Alpha Zero split is 90-10. It's going to be going to come down to whether or not you can change your mindset. Nothing's going to change if nothing's going to change. It's unfortunate. I mean, My first ever payout was Top Step, and I did build a buffer. And it was really frustrating for me because I kept blowing funded accounts that were eligible for payout, but I hadn't built a buffer. So I was telling myself, like, oh, I can't request this, you know, like, I gotta make more. I gotta make more. And I just kept chasing, trying to build a buffer, you know? So if I went on a little bit of a win streak, it didn't matter because I didn't have a buffer. So that was annoying for me. Buffer is how much is left in your account. So if you only make $500 and you request $500, your account's blown. Unless you trade with alpha futures, because they don't have that rule. Are you Radu? Are you from a banned country? Apparently, there's like a new list of banned country or something. If you're trading Alpha Zero, don't make 3K before you request a payout. That kind of defeats the whole purpose. If you want to make $3,000 on an account before requesting, go trade Lucid Flex or something. I only really recommend Alpha Futures if you plan on making between like 500 to like 1,500, maybe $2,000 before requesting a payout. Like it's Alpha Zero is perfect for small, easy, consistent payouts for a really cheap account. That's what it's perfect for. If you're gonna make $3,000, brother, $3,000, you just built a buffer. Go choose the best firm that's gonna give you the best benefits for building a buffer. Lucid Flex would probably be better. Like if you're gonna go for that much, you might as well trade with Apex, Lucid Flex, Tradeify, Take Profit Trader is one of my favorite ones. You know. Now, if you want an easy payout where you only have to make $1,000, you have to pretty much choose Alpha Zero. I wouldn't choose there's nothing that even comes close. You know. No activation fee on Lucid accounts. And Lucid accounts, they don't have a monthly rule. Like you don't have to pay monthly. You buy it and you can take your sweet time, which is another reason why I really like the Lucid Black for new people. It's because they don't have to rush the account. They can just buy the eval and take their time. Top Step is not bad. Genuinely, the only good thing about Top Step is you can full port news. Other than that, the other firms are better. My Friend of Futures has a new account that's good too. Yeah. You just passed your TPT account, bro. TPT is so goated. It's so goated. If you go on a win streak on TPT, when you have a buffer, you just constantly bringing money into your bank account. It's honestly amazing. As a beginner, I prefer the standard over the zero. Yeah, I actually like the standard more too. I mean, I use the standard. That's my go-to. Do you make a living solely based on profit, or do I have to personally fund it eventually? No, of course you can make a living off of what? Why wouldn't you be able to? TPT trailing drawdown though, you gotta take it slow and steady. It took me 1 month to build my buffer. It took me 6 weeks actually to build my buffer on Take Profit Trader. But once I did, I pulled out like 5 payouts in 1 week or like 1 week and a half. So, what's a platform you can request payout every day? Lucid Flex, Take Profit Trader, and Tradeify Select. I would recommend Lucid Flex. Should I go for the standard? If you want like truly the easiest payout in the entire future space, standard is the best. Yeah. It's not going to be the biggest payout to start if you want an easy one. But if you want the easiest payout, it's Alpha Future Standard. Although you're going to have to wait. Guys, Top Step is the best. No one promotes it because there's no affiliate. Top Step is not the best anymore, bro. You realize every single firm that releases bases their rules to Top Step and tries to one-up them. Like, no one would make a brand new firm, and just be like, yeah, we'll just settle for something worse than Top Step. Top Step was number one for a very long time. Top Step hasn't changed their rules or adjusted to the game in a very long time. You know? Who has the best daily payouts? I'd probably say Lucid Flex. It's pretty much the same. Why is it better? It's because it's cheaper. That's the only reason, bro. They're pretty much the same account. Take Profit Trader, Tradeify Select, Lucid. I think My Fund of Futures has one. They're all pretty much the same, except which one's cheapest. And right now, Lucid is cheapest. Also, you don't have to pass Lucid in one month. There's no monthly fee. Can't you get daily payouts on Lucid Flex? Tradify Select is real for listen, like it's really all the same. Like any account with daily payouts is the same, guys. You just choose the cheapest one. Just choose the cheapest one. For daily payouts, I use Take Profit Trader. Oh, Lucid Flex is not the daily payout one? Sorry guys, wrong one. What's it called? Then that's the other one then. On Lucid Eval, yes you can. The chart's just trending, man, unfortunately. And I'm not seeing the retracement that I'm looking for. Oh, Lucid Black? I buy it. Yeah, message me on Discord, Vintage. TopStep has issues. Yeah, listen, TopStep. I use TopStep. Like, I'm not hating on TopStep. TopStep's a great firm. TopStep's a great firm. Yeah, you could. You could. First, this person asking about 6-6 setup. You could. It's kind of unfortunate, huh? Pretty clear bias. I think most people were bullish. I mean, this setup is pretty good, but I have like 5 payouts with Take Profit Trader. I'm currently under the buffer right now, though. So even if it depends. I'm down like 400 from the buffer. Obviously, because I kept taking payouts to 2,000. So as soon as I lose, like, this is the higher time frame. This is a 15-minute chart. Yo, was I wrong about Lucid? Do they not have daily payouts? Could have sworn they did. If not, then Tradeify Select is probably best, or Take Profit Trader. I use Take Profit Trader, but I think Tradeify Select is better. But I'm already using Take Profit, so. Well, hold on. I could have sworn Lucid has a. Last time I checked the rules, I could have sworn they did. Oh, it's Lucid Pro. It's Lucid Pro, guys. Right? Oh, wait, no, it's not Lucid Pro. Did they remove it, or am I tripping? Days to payout 5. Days to payout 3. Days to payout. Ah, yo, use Tradeify Select. Tradeify Select. Alpha has Rise, yeah. Damn, so Tradeify Select must be goaded then, huh? What's cheaper, Tradeify Select or Take Profit Trader? Does anyone know? That's the one you probably want to use. Let me see. It'd be Tradeify Select. Select 50K. It's $111 with code 40% off. And oh, it's literally the same as Take Profit Trader. It's literally the same. So I guess you can use Tradeify. It's up to you. Tradeify or yeah, I mean Tradeify is like $5 more. I think the live account might be better. Yeah, I think Tradeify is better, guys. Tradeify might have the best daily plan. I mean, I'm not gonna switch my Take Profit Trader account, but oh yeah, Lucid's still amazing. You know? Lucid's literally just Top Step but better. Like that's what Lucid is for. That's what Lucid is for. It's Lucid's the better version of Top Step. Yeah, I did see the funded next Bolt accounts. The reason Take Profit Trader is better though is the max payout's 10,000. You know? You can get up to 10,000 and no consistency rule. If you get a Take Profit Trader, guys, like yeah, Lucid Flex is really good. It's literally Top Step but better. You entered 10:05. That's valid, bro. You move stop to break even. I wouldn't say break even. I think right here is good. 992. Damn, it's kind of unfortunate we didn't really catch a piece of this. It stings a little bit, I'll be honest. Like it stings a little bit, but it is what it is, I guess. My last name's Gatie. This one stings, guys. I'm gonna be honest. Like right back to all-time highs. This is why I would love to trade London session. Did anyone trade London? Like, how freaking clean is this, bro? Like, how clean is this? And you hold this for the week. That's all-time high. It's going there. It's going there. I know where it's going. We're gonna have to wait for. Wait, I have on a 51-minute chart. Hold on. What am I doing here? Um. Yeah, I mean, we probably won't visit bottom like here. It is what it is. The thing that you followed your plan. No, I mean, it doesn't really. It's not. It's not. It's not like that. It's just. I was really. I was really convinced that we were gonna get a move like this. So just kind of a little bit frustrating that wasn't able to capture realistically any part of it. But my model didn't form really. Like they're technically here and here, but it's not a strong setup with confluences. Like I definitely cannot say. If there was a 15-minute gap here, that would have made a huge difference for me. That's what I was waiting for. If we just took out this low, but I guess we were really bullish, so can't complain really. I missed it too. You want to tap in? Yeah, I wanted the 15-minute as well. What would you rate the 1002 inverse? The setup itself is really strong, but the fact that we just put in a low and we didn't go below 10 a.m. like to me, like I'm never taking this trade. You know, it's just how I trade. I need to see a move below the opening price that's significant for a protraction model. You know, now the one thing you could argue is the setup here is really good because let's say you took a trade like this, right? Okay, you took a trade like this, and let's say it stops you out, comes back, takes the low, and goes like this again. Well, then you can just take the same trade again, and this time it's even better. So why is it good to take it the first time? In case it's so bullish and just goes immediately. And if you get stopped out, you just take it again the second time. That's something I probably need to do better. But it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like I'm just saving my money for potentially the better setup, and we didn't get the better setup. The first setup played out, and it is what it is. Well, it's not that simple with my model because technically, my model formed here a bunch of times. It's just I faded it, so I'm always gonna have to do some little bit more reflection. I purposely made a model for myself that forms a lot. My model forms all the time. There's a lot of models for me. Technically, this is my model too. I could have bought this candle right here, like this, if I wanted to. It would have been a valid trade setup. This order block right here. But like, I fade those ones. Then why didn't you? Because I don't take every single setup my model forms. It wouldn't be profitable if I did. Do you have some sauce for eggs? I do have a YouTube video, but it's not really sauce. It's more basic fundamentals. Do you think I can learn ICT and get funded in 6 months? I think you are already screwed because you putting yourself in the wrong mindset. Don't ask yourselves, can I learn ICT and get funded in 6 months? Ask yourself, can I show up every day, put in work, make notes, study ICT every day for 6 months? Ask yourself that question. Because I know you like to study behind the charts you look like into order for even just a little bit of else. I'm not really looking to add anything if I'm being honest. Yeah, it's literally like, I'm being honest, bro. If that's the mindset you're coming in with this, you're not gonna make it. That's the same mindset that all the other 90% people have, and they all failed. So you're asking yourself, how fast can I accomplish my goal? How about you ask yourself, how fast, or sorry, how long until you accomplish your goal? Why don't you ask yourself, how long can I continue maintaining the process that's required? Why don't you ask yourself that question? How long can you show up putting in the work for before quitting? You know, the last thing you adjust in your trading. Sorry, I don't understand. Successor model. It's quite simple. I mean, when the market is bullish and we put in a bearish SMT, right? Let's just say looking at the Nasdaq here, and there's an SMT at the high. So this is ES. There's SMT at previous day's high. The market's bullish, but one asset is lagging, aka it's a sick sister. So what do? What happens? There's two scenarios. One, S&P consolidates while Nasdaq rallies, so play catch up, right? Or option two, we get a deeper discount. This is the one you trade. We get a deeper discount on both, and then once they sync up in discount, then you see the sustained rally, whoops, on both again. Now, right now, Nasdaq looks like it's just trending higher, but you can already tell, right? You guys can already tell. Look at the size of the candles and the speed in which they're forming. They're dying out. After we take out the buy side here, they're dying out. So it could be choppy for some time. We could see a deeper discount. I'll likely wait until 1050 macro, and that'll be my last execution period. So until then, we'll just answer questions. 929 IFEG. No, I would never take that. 847 order block worked perfectly. Yeah, sure. Oh, central timing, so 947. Oh yeah, valid. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it did. Right. I think there's a 5 minute gap in there. Yeah, 1 minute order block, 5 minute fair value gap, whatever you want to call it. The body stops right there. Rejection blocks only as a potential target. Which broker? For my live account, I use Interactive Brokers. No trades for me yet. Took a quick one-to-one and I pass funded. Yeah, that's solid, bro. I mean, it can be as simple as that, right? Market trend very strong. Take one-to-one, stop loss protected low. You think there's a potential market maker sell model? No. That would be kind of crazy, I'll be honest. It looks really nice, I'll be honest, with the consolidation, the rally, and now smart money reversal with the SMT up here. It looks really good, but I wouldn't trade that pattern. I would fade that. I would personally fade it. Um, Wait till 10:30 here. I really want to wait for 10:50, but if there is going to be a sell model, I would wait for us to get like a breaker here, you know? Like if the market comes all the way here and does like a break, you can probably short somewhere here to target these lows. These lows. But previous days high on NQ for 10:30. Did anyone take a trade today? Who took a trade today? Don't just lie, you know? Also, you know what we should do? We should test out the trade copy. We would even test it out today. Yeah, put a sell limit for Buy stop. Working. Only when I switch to 1 on R, I get funded. Trade 1 on R, bro. You caught a long, got 1540 win, have to lose 40. You don't have to. Good shit, Woody. Do you wish? Do you what? Yeah, I was very bullish. I mean, I wasn't very bullish. I was bullish though. Yeah, I was only looking for longs. SPA in February. Yeah. No setup for me. No. Yeah, I still think we can go higher. Previous day's high on the Nasdaq. Be a target. We'll see how long this move lower occurs for. There's a 15-minute gap here. You know, we may get a 1030 power of 3. Some consolidation. Make that blue. Be a small trade if we do take it, but it goes above 997. And if we got closure above here, take a setup like this. I'm gonna show you guys tech. Show you guys tech. TP. Maybe something like this. 25, 400. We can get away with like 5 cons. I entered now with 4. Part of me wants to wait for a closure. Put an entry here at 4. Hopefully we didn't front run that inversion. Otherwise we probably would not be feeling too good right now. Good order at 699.5. We'll see if it fills on this candle. If it doesn't fill on this candle, then I don't really want to be in the trade. I'll allow this to trade here, but it needs to go up now from this red line and tag me in. If it does that, I'll be a participant. If not, I won't take the trade. It needs to be this candle. It's 9925. If this candle immediately goes up, I'll take it as well. All right, we'll take the trade. Oh, you know what? NQ looks really weak right now. NQ looks pretty weak. YM looks strong though. We'll see. Yeah, looks like we might make a lower low here on the Nasdaq. YM looks great though. Kind of debating closing break even right now, but I think we can survive the S&T if it forms. Choppiness is expected. YM looks great, which is the only reason I don't want to close this trade. That they may want to sync up with YM. It's not like YM is slowing down after taking the high. It's still going. So that's why I'm like still holding on to this trade. I mean, it's only a 4 contract trade. You know, we're risking 25, 50-ish. Part of me wants to break even, but I think I'm just gonna hold this one. It looks good. I mean, and I am de-risked already slightly, so. Just realized nobody can see the P&L. Way too premium to be buying? Okay, don't buy then. You can always terminate somewhere like here as well, right? Like, I don't have to let it hit all the way down here. Like, I'm not going to move my stop here, but I can always terminate here if I need to. Stop to 693. 6993.25. Just reduce the risk slightly. I mean, 15-second there. Wait for the higher high on ES and then go from there. Really, Nasdaq should be the one speeding up here, if anything was gonna speed. The good news is we are like in a slight profit now, so you know we can always, if it starts aggressively coming against us, we can break even. Um, I'm tempted. We could potentially go break even here. Stop at the bottom of the inversion is a good place. So I mean, we'll for sure move this to like at least 644.5 at least, and we can go from there. You know, wait for Nasdaq to get above this high. See if it gets weak. Yeah, I mean, I think a stop loss here suffices. 65575. I mean, the risk is really reduced at this point. I think I'm happy just to hold the trade. I mean, I'm risking quite literally 4 times 5, 4 times 5, 20, 20 times 4, $80. Risking $80 and then potential for this to trend. I think I'm happy with that. So what's the stop? 99575. Call it 996. I mean, we'll leave the stop at 99575 and go from there. We can always terminate break even. You can always put a stop here at 998 because the gap. Should we run 998? Let's run 996.25. There's too many stops to manage here. It's kind of okay. All right, we'll see. I think a stop here is actually good. 998. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. All right, gonna pretty much move this to break even. At this point in time. What is that? 99825. I see the fair value gap on NQ, and it should hold if we're bullish. So stop is moved there to pretty much break even. 20 bucks, not a big deal. Aggressive break off the SMT. Survive this retracement. Gonna move that to break even. Stop moved here to 7,000. Probably gonna get taken out unless this fair value gap holds, which it might. Otherwise, if not, I'll just be out of the trade. Out, break even. Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, can't expect much. Can't expect too much. I'd say good management in my opinion, but obviously it could still hold, but I don't think it's worth it with the SMT. Unfortunately, Nasdaq did not see the sustained rally that I was expecting, so I don't want to re-enter anything really. I think that just kind of kills the session. Probably just rallies lower here. The fact that it failed, I mean, we don't know if it's gonna fail, but if the market breaks here, then we're actually quite likely to run this low. So I don't like lunch retracement trades, but that could be it for the day, you know. We'll see. Or we get a deeper pullback and then a continuation. I don't think that's going to hold forever, but we could see a sustained rally lower for some period of time. Yeah. Do I want to flip to jump in here and target this low on a 1050 macro retracement play? That's a pretty far target. I don't know if that's my style. No, I don't think I'm going to do it. I see it potentially happening, but I think I wanted the long. It didn't play out. I don't want to take a retracement trade. Although the 10 a.m. low actually has decent, what's it called? Decent pullback rate. I still think previous day's high could be possible on the Nasdaq. So we're getting choppy in here. You can see we're putting in a high, low. I think there's only one more thing I'm going to wait for, and that's 1050 macro. Let's say the market does something like this. I'll take a long, target the high, equal highs here, and then that'll be my last trade of the morning session if it forms. So we'll wait for that. That'll be it if it forms. We've engineered buy side and sell side now. If we get a sweep of sell side, I'll target buy side inside the lunch, first lunch macro. And yeah. be it. That'll be the game plan. Was the triple untested high and reasonable to think it was a good target? Sorry, I'm not sure which. Well, you mean on Nasdaq? Yeah, just managing risk there, right? Out of my control, unfortunately. Didn't see the continuation. I would believe if we were bullish, it was a good stop loss move. Yeah, it was a good target. It was a good target. I think it can still be a target. Oh, Friday, yeah, I think it can be a target. Oh, see if we take out sell side here. Oh, the ADR relative equal lows. It was bearish. Why was today? You can't be bearish just because you have a target. That's not how it works, right? This is like the most common mistake. Previous day's highs open, therefore I'm bullish. What if we're bearish? You have a different target. There's always targets. You got to determine your bias first, and then look for logical targets. That are potentially in play given the range. I wouldn't be bearish. Is it bad that I want to take longs? I want to take longs too. You mean shorts? No, I think it's possible we can run out the 10 a.m. low. I think it's possible that we can trade here. I'm gonna fade that narrative though and look for it to remain bullish. How much, bro? Up? Like $50 maybe. I don't know. Multiply 7. 7 times 10. That's what I'm up. Plus 50, $85. Jeez. Um, on NQ shorts. Good luck, bro. Yo, why am I forming for traction long? Off a very nice order block tap. Yo, YM looks clean. Is it time? YM has previous day's high too. You know what? I wouldn't have been stopped out on YM. That's the gap. Entered here, move stop here. Entered here, stop here, move stop here. Safe. Trouble talking right now about tariffs. RIP, RIP. Why does everyone spam in YouTube chat? Monday is Monday? That's true. That's why this failed? No, that's not why it failed, brother. Don't worry about the outcome of one trade. It's very, listen, believe it or not, the outcome of one individual trade is quite literally random, It's truly, truly random. Don't worry about the outcome of one individual trade. How do contracts with YM work? I don't know. Let me check out the calculator tool right here. YM, let's say micro. If you want to risk $100, you can do 10 contracts. So one mini, 20 points. No, sorry. One mini, 5 points is $100. So I don't know. You can do the math. I want to see an animated run here, like this. Wow, is that bullish? Daily power of 3 said bullish, right? Just a textbook daily profile. London reversal. Asia highs open. If London manipulates below the opening price and gives you a 50-minute CISD or breaker, probability is we will take out the Asia high. If not, if we haven't, and that's just not something. I got a message from G. All right, there's sell side. Now, if we can get an inverse suspension block, I'll enter long inside the 1050 macro. This is actually my favorite entry model, 1050 macro protraction model. If we can get it, I'll take it. Is there a gap under? If we want to go a little bit lower, that's fine too. I don't mind that. We can go a little bit lower. No, they took away my suspension block, bro. How am I supposed to enter this shit? 1 minute order block. If we get strong closure and follow through, I may try it. What did we take last year? It was 4. 4 again. This candle shouldn't make a higher high. I'll buy the higher high. It's already taking too long. They're trying to buy the breaker. 15-minute gap here. 15-second chart's clean. Let's stay on the 15. I'm going to cancel this order. Not clean. Not the cleanest. I've seen cleaner setups. You get immediate rebalance and trade higher, I'll buy it. Yeah, I'll buy it like this. Good. L4 by accident on my live account. I'll take the long. Mm. 993 is a stop. "30-second protraction model off the 1-minute protraction model. See what we can get here. It'd be a relatively quick move, 1050 macro. If we're right, you know, shouldn't be lingering or anything. Realistically, I could put my stop here, 995, but I'm going to give it a little bit more room than that. Actually, no, I'm not. Not want to see a lower low. What is that, 995? So already reducing the risk effectively. See if that gives me an opportunity to pyramid. Yeah, shoot. I'll buy one there. Stop move to intermediate term low, buy another contract. Too much. Pretty low risk on this trade. 3 times 5, 15. 15 times 5. We're risking under $100. So if we make a higher high again, I'll buy again. Because we're very low risk. It'll be pretty much the breaker here. NQ looks like it's going to make a lower low. YM looks great. YM looks absolutely great. You know, these arrows are a little bit distracting. I'm gonna remove them for now. That we may take a small loss here. Back into the gap. Up is 995.25 at the intermediate term low. I wouldn't mind like if we get another sweep. If this rundown here wasn't too like exaggerated like it was on the Nasdaq. Probably stopped out here. If the market does something like this, I'll try again. And that'll be like last trade. Took a small loss there. We'll see. If we get another sweep and another setup, I'll take it again. And that'll be my last attempt. Yeah, we'll see. It would have to take out these lows and then something just a little bit more animated for a manipulation. Something like this. And I'll try again. You know, if it forms, I'd anticipate it, quite likely. If it doesn't form, then it's probably gonna run this low. But I'll leave that. I'll let that trade go. I only lost $80 on that trade. That's quite good, actually. Quite good. So like this inversion, I'll buy that. No, this is just unrealized for when I'm in a trade. I think the setup here on Nasdaq looks quite good, actually. I like it. We'll see if this SMT holds. Doesn't need to. If we get a strong candle here, I'm just gonna buy 5. I feel like I'll put an order here for now in case it just gets really strong. What is that? 998. I'll put an order at 998 for now. Stop would be around 5 points. 520, yeah, so 125 risk. Okay, we're gonna take that low. That's fine. It's 10-minute gap, so it's actually a good thing. Let's see if we get expansion here. I'll even take it at 9967. Is that 9967? Just stay open if we're bearish. I've accidentally taken 3 trades so far just by accidentally clicking. Yeah, I mean, I'll take it here. If we get there. At 650. We get the fill. If it's going to be this candle, that's plus IRB. Yeah, I'll take the trade here. Likely if See if it wants to go up there and show me. I would want this immediate rebalance to hold, and this gap, that should be a breakaway gap. If it's going to go there, well, then it's probably just bullish. So set up. So it looks like we'll sweep this low maybe. That's fine. I'll wait. Obviously, it could just be bearish, so I'm gonna want to be a little bit cautious here. Okay, there's the sweep of the low. By the top of the breaker here at 99550. Potentially foreign. What's the stop loss on that? 6 points. 6 times 5 is 30. 30 times 6 is good risk. Right, this will be the last idea. If it goes below here, probably just kills the full narrative for me. YM's also forming a protraction long, so if we can just overlap this order block, trade to the top of it, I'll take my fill at 99550. Otherwise, probably don't want to be in the trade, right? Stop loss would be at this level. Stop fighting it. Like if we make a lower low here, 98950, it's just not bullish probably, right? So we'll just walk away with an $80 loss. I'm back in lunch or PM. Yeah, it doesn't look bullish. Yeah, looks like so we might run lower. We are inside that 30-minute gap. Like I don't want to fully abandon the narrative here. Okay, gonna give it a little bit of a chance. I do like the setup from the 30-minute. I like the setup from the 30. I'll be a little patient for now. The idea that 30 minutes gonna hold, it's gonna hold, right? So 30 minutes gonna hold, it's gonna hold. No, my trade of it doesn't say delayed data. Stop loss size would be, yeah, still 6 times 5, 30, 30 times 6. Let's make this 5. That much yet. So I just need the confirmation in the breaker block here. If we get that, that's what convinced me. If it doesn't form, then I would expect this low to be taken all the way down here. But we'll see. Yeah, doesn't look like it's gonna farm. Pretty much last line of defense here. Bottom portion of the 30-minute gap. It goes below here. Probably no trade. I would buy it at 99,350 if we saw support at this level, but I don't think it's gonna happen. We'll see. I would buy it here at 99,350, but just retracement break idea. We'd have to respect here though. Any lower than this, that's the bottom of the 30-minute. At that point, 30 minutes not likely to hold, in which case, like I said, it's this low here. So I'd even get in at, yeah, call it 993. Be the CISD here. The CISD, the risk on that, around the same, 5 points, 993. Take this trade. All right. This will be the last trade of the morning session for me. Taking it with 5 micro contracts, S&P 500. Stop is at 93. All right, 6987. Last trade of the morning session for me. Risking $150. See what the market wants to give us. Main confirmation will be a move above this high. If we get above this high, it should be easy money. If we fail, well, then we make a lower low. We get stopped out, walk away for the day with $230 loss, which is pretty good. Pretty good. YM looks really good. If you took a look at the YM, made a higher high just now. See if we can get that same energy from ES and NASDAQ as we did on YM. It's a 1050 macro protraction model long. See? Hard work. Sure. Just out of curiosity, how many points here to the buy side? That is a 12-point run. Let's see. Did you accidentally? No. Your SL is my TP. Would have I closed my trade, but I would have hunted your stop loss. Daddy, you're printing us all free money. My S&P 500, just better risk. I can get multiple contracts in the position. I've also been backtesting and collecting data on the S&P recently, so I always go live same time, 9:15 a.m. Eastern time. See this wick? Stop loss move to 50% of it. If we get breaker, stop loss move to body. So again, just looking to reduce risk wherever I can. It all adds up at the end, trust me. 50% of the wick. If we get a fair value gap, I can move my stop some more. Fair value gap here, stop move to the body. I'm gonna give it a little bit of time. Now stop is where it is, 988. 7.7. So slight risk reduction, 1 point. If this 2-minute gap forms, we should be in business. I'm thinking about moving stop to the body here. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and move the stop to the body. 98875. So our first major stop loss move. 98875. Cutting the risk not by half, but decently. Love an opportunity to pyramid. Just need a more significant stop reduction. A little bit more. Have to see. I can buy one contract here. The risk is still under really good. We're in 6 contracts now. Still risking less than we originally risked on the beginning of the trade, so that's why I'm adding a contract. Just risk parameters. See if we can get another add if possible. See if we can get another pyramid by any chance. Hope we can build a good position here. We don't even need much more than a 10 a.m. high. I don't know if we'll be able to, but I didn't see speed where I wanted to, but we did not break down, which is a good sign. There's a 2-minute gap in there. I like my stop loss, 98875. I don't really want to touch it yet. Kind of a mediocre. Here, looking at this and I'm gonna want to add another contract shortly because I think I should have added 2 last time. Here, 675. Buy stop there. So back to original risk at this point in time. It's fine. 7 contracts long. With the rejection block, 98875. Don't see myself taking any more entries. This will likely be it. The next stop loss logical move will be the bottom here at 990. I'm just waiting. Done waiting. Moving stop to 990. Covers the 5-minute OB rejection block here. So stop moved to 990. And I think it's just that's it. This is the trade now, you know. We'll just take what the market gives us. I don't see myself making any more adjustments. See how we work inside this gap. That's it, right? That's the hard work. No more trade. Next stop move will be like 991 or arguably 991.50. Yeah, we're gonna go 991.50. Because at this point in time, I don't want to see really a lower low. I don't want to see strength. That's good risk reduction. I could buy in here, but I'm just gonna keep the trade de-risk now. Because now, like, I'm looking at like a almost 6R trade if we can run above the high here from what I've originally built. So I'm more than content with that for a lunch move. If we can get above the high, like right now on alpha, we built up a pretty significant position. If we can just get above the buy side, like I'm very content with that. It's about a 6R position I built for myself. So we'll see. We'll see if we can just get the follow through. It would be nice. Start off the month strong. This the market wants to be nice to me. Overall, the risk management today was impeccable. The pyramiding was good. Everything was good today. So I can't be mad with whatever happens now. Right, is out of my control. So it would be very nice if we can run the buy side here. But if we don't, we don't, and it is what it is. Yeah, stop at the potential breakaway here. I'm gonna move stop to 992. To make a higher high, which is good. Hopefully this makes it easy for us. Like, there is a 4-minute gap in here, which I don't want to move my stop. I moved it to the bottom at 992. I'm risking quite little now, so I'm kind of just content with whatever happens. So we'll just see. I don't see myself touching the trade. I mean, like I said, we built up a pretty good position. So the market wants to be nice. We'll just take it. If not, it is what it is. It's out of our hands now. This is probably just going to be holding this now. Yes, for just better opportunities to pyramid and such. Just more control over my actual P&L and trade and money management. I made you lose your account. Yeah, you suck at trading, bro. Really nice trade. Yeah, good management is what matters. When I pyramid my SL and TP doesn't pyramid too, any idea? You have to adjust it manually. I'm adjusting it manually every time too. I know it because remember I can't show you now because I have everything set up, but I'll show you after stream. I'm executing on my second monitor actually. What's the real secret profitability you're hiding from us? It's cutting losers and riding winners, bro. That's it. Like, do you know how much we pyramided into this trade? Like, I buy here, here, and here. If this is a winner, that's like 10 times the loser we had here almost. Okay, not 10 times. That was exaggerated, but you get the idea, right? It's all about winning more than you lose, bro. You're so good to manage your trade, bro. Thank you, yeah. What's up with your agent model? Working on it. It actually played out today. I wasn't there to capture it, though. All right. I know I say normally don't set a TP, but, we're going to set a TP at this point in time. Stop loss is going to move to 994, 995. There is logic behind this. It's lunch, and I want out. Don't want to suffer any deep, long, prolonged lunch retracement. Stop loss could be moved here, 997. I'm going to leave it here at 995. Give myself $100. So we're at least break even on the day. I mean, that's good. I will be a little bit disappointed if we give back all the profits, but it's up to the market at this point. No partials here. You got to remember, like, you can't let the outcome of the trade affect anything. You can't let the outcome of the trade affect anything. You just got to put in. It's just business, right? We'll shoot this higher for now, and we'll just see what the market gives us. May have to close manually. Stopped right at that old buy side. Gap here. This should hold if we're bullish. Strong move down, but also strong move up, so we'll see. Q looks pretty good. We did our job, you know? We did our job. Close your trade on accident? I mean, it's okay. Not far from the main target. 3 points. 3 times 5. It's another 150 bucks, you know? If we get above here, stops being moved here. And that would be perfect. You're 2 ticks away from getting long filled. Is your TP Fridays high? I'm aiming for this buy side right here. But I'm sending this higher. I don't actually have a TP. I don't believe in TPs. Let me just close this for retro sake. Gatie doesn't believe in TPs. Gatie believes in taking what the market gives. So we'll see what the market wants to give me. I just want to make sure I cover the 5-minute retracement, which should be valid for 3, 2. Yeah, we're working at a deep premium now. This is where like fear starts to kick in, right? It's like, am I gonna give back this position that I've built up so nicely? It could end the day pretty green right now. Up around 1R on the day after taking a small loss. But that's the emotions talking. I gifted and you didn't read it? Don't gift me, bro. I ain't here for the gifts, but I appreciate it. But you don't gotta do that. I'm just here to trade. Sorry if you like. Hopefully you didn't spend like your last couple. I don't know how much it costs to gift, but this is don't use the P&L to judge the risk to reward. It's in I have 9 accounts being traded, 6 of which are attached to the copier, which is the P&L that you see, 3 of which is separate for now, which has a 12 contract position built here on Alpha Futures. So different. You limit order, yeah. That's why I don't use limit orders personally. Just buy. So I'm human. I feel the same fear of giving back profits here. Just trying to remember that my goal isn't to win this trade. My goal is to just take what the market gives and most importantly manage risk. I've already done that. I'm not gonna sit here and say like it's uncomfortable to hold this when I know I could close and secure the profit, but I know this has the potential to trend, and I know there's a potential, so at the end of the day, you have to be able to hold your winners. So maybe this is a winner, maybe it's not, but I'm just focusing on that. And if we do make a higher high here, I'll be able to move my stop here at least. So that's gonna help me with my there it is. 725. So at least securing slight profit on the day now. We'll see if we want to run how aggressive we want to get here. It's pretty annoying how every single aggressive move up is immediately met with an aggressive move down off the open. I mean, if we could just get a sustained rally, ideally, that would be most nice, right? But I guess it's not up to me, so we'll see. Nasdaq wants to follow through here, getting close towards targeting. You could put the stop here, 9.9. See a fill there. I'm gonna go 99825 for now. 99825 for now. This retracement. It's coming pretty strong, but we'll take what the market gives. Take what the market gives and then reflect after. It looks like it's probably gonna come just based on how fast this is coming down on me. So we got the inversion. Good confirmation. OB immediately comes down. Not what you want to see. Stops at 998.25. Securing 300 bucks across my alpha accounts. Securing 740. Not much. I manually close a trade in a challenge is a violation or just trade management? What do you mean in challenge? What's in challenge mean? Did you accidentally take any trades today? No, I don't accidentally take any trades. Oh, like did I push the button by accident? Yeah, a couple times. But I just immediately closed. Lost like I don't know how much I lost on that, but maybe a little. There is an inversion here, which I don't like. We did inverse overall that gap. Not ideal. Alright, we're forming the 10-minute gap, and it's gonna close inside on my stop, which is not ideal as well. So it's looking like we'll probably be taken out here. Looking at this, unless we get a really strong candle, I'm looking at the 10-minute gap forming, which is 3 minutes. So in other words, we have 3 minutes to reach this high. Otherwise, we're likely to make a lower low. So we'll see what happens. 3 minutes. If you want, I got a good scaling strategy nobody knows about. My uncle's a prop owner. I'm okay, brother. Thank you, though. Why not partial? You have 7 contracts. Okay, you don't like TPs, but secure some profits? No. There's no logical partial here. I would partial above this high. There's no reason to close the trade. If I'm going to partial not every time, but if it's just going to go down and I partial, that's insufficient. If anything, I'd partial above new highs. So if I wanted to partial, I could have partialed above this high. But when we're going to have this high right here, I'm going to go ahead and assume that it's going to run both. Unfortunately, it didn't this time, but most of the time it will. See if Nasdaq can find support in this gap and get real sensitive. You say whisking 100. Is it 100 on each one of your accounts? Yes. Nice and gamble. Right to the bottom of the fair value gap there. Last line of defense. Speed now would be good. You trade this with the S&P 500. Move stop to 99875. Call it 999. Well, we'll just have it. Stop move to 999. I could actually aggressively pyramid here, but I'm not going to. Just gonna secure that extra 50-ish bucks. See if we can get the follow through now. Obviously, would not want to see a lower low at this point, or the bottom of the fair value gap traded to 999.25. Bottom of the gap there should hold. Stopped at 999.25. Stopped to 7,000. Bottom of the OB there. So aggressively trailing now. Not really aggressive. It's pretty aggressive, I guess, but And this is all balanced out now. We delivered sell side through and buy side through. So realistically, we shouldn't even trade to 7001. I have my stop at 700 in case we want to overshoot it with a wick and OB. But realistically, we shouldn't even trade to the bottom of the orange box. If we do, it's really sloppy, and I probably don't want to be in the trade anyways. So I'm happy with the stop here. There's bottom of the orange box plus the order block. Like I said, we shouldn't even trade there. Should start seeing speeds somewhat soon. Looking at the NASDAQ getting really close to making a higher high. Maybe potentially this candle or the next. If we're bullish, I'm going to continue strength. Shouldn't really shoot this line, this black line right here. Shouldn't shoot much, too lower below it. If it does, then we could get real sloppy. Lower low, deeper retracements here. Remember that 10-minute gap we talked about, right? That's this. So ideally we don't go there. Looks like we are going to go there if this continues. That's why I said we have 3 minutes to reach this high. Because if we don't reach that high within 3 minutes, which we didn't, likely pull back to the 10-minute. And then from there, I'm not going to sit here and take another protraction model, but yeah, we're out of trade. I had a good trade. Take it. I mean, I can't complain. Could it still go? Yeah. What I would do is see if you get a protraction out of the 10-minute, which would be a low down here somewhere. You could try to take that. But overall, those are my executions. No complaints. Good risk management. Good trade management. We didn't give up too much profit in the trade that we had. If you look at the labels, we got it out 9.25. I had my order at 7,000. Scammers, bro. Scammers. But yeah, I'm not gonna sit here. There's a 10-minute fair value gap that I was talking about. So if it's gonna take out that, given an inversion here, you could hypothetically take an entry like this. That's 1R, but that's not worth the risk for me. My stop loss is above the high now, so we should go there. That's funny. Anyways, that's business. It's obviously sloppy in here once we got, we missed the main move, but I think we managed risk pretty well. Break even, loss, win. 3 trades. So if you guys are not aware, inside the Discord, I journal every single trade that I take on live stream. It's a free Discord. I'm going to show you guys. So take the executions, open the Discord, go to stream. This is Monday, January. Sorry, Monday. And I think this long setup can play, but it's enough for me. 6, 3 trades. Net result. What's the net result? I don't know. 0.975 plus 0.975%. 0.98%. That's that. On a continuation, on for second hour RTH. Premium high resistance. As expected. And that's it, So the balance trades. I reset this just so it's really clear. Clean, but you'll notice that it's exactly where we were. So you could hypothetically enter long now. It would meet the criteria. So And I'm not going to take it because I think it's a little bit too sloppy. I feel like it would have delivered if it was going to be an easy run. So I'm not just going to keep taking every long until it plays out. The 1 in 1050 macro was the best, in my opinion. That's that. Funded account's done. I guess we can sit here and study. Maybe we got wicked out, but it is what it is. Orange plus red. Can we expect a liquidity grab on those? I'm still bullish. Like I said, if the 10-minute gap here. The only reason I'm not trading this, because my stop would technically have to be all the way down here. And I'm not going to open myself up to that risk. So what I do is move my stop. And like I said, I could re-enter now like this. But it's not worth the risk for me anymore. Because now I'm taking one position with no opportunity to pyramid, manage risk. See how this one we're able to build in and risk, manage? This one you can't, you know? Because you're taking it at the top. Was I right to assume bullish buys from price now making a lower low on the 4 hour? If that's how you use buys, sure, that works. Consolidate the rest of the day? No, I'm not gonna. No, I don't expect consolidation the rest of the day. Do I expect a main move? Probably not. I think this will deliver the highs here in the next couple minutes, and I think that'll be it. And the trade copier. Yeah, so we're up around like, I don't know, we're not up much. I'll probably risk what I made in either lunch or PM session. Yeah, risk what I made in lunch or PM. I don't like having small winning days, so I'd rather be break even. So on alpha I'll risk 230. On take profit trader I'll risk 150, and we'll go from there. See if we risk our profits to make some money. Otherwise, you know. But that's it. That's business for today. Anyone have pressing questions before I go do some work? Hey guy, if you're super rich in the future, what is the chance we see you on the Epstein Island? 0%, brother. Which trade copy do you use? I use tradescale.app. The cheapest one out there. Does tradescale cost money? All trade copiers cost money. They cost money to run monthly, so. Are low volume days after the push bad probability? Yeah. Who asked that? Someone in TikTok. Great risk management, bro. Thank you. What did you learn from your journal lately, and did you change anything on your trading? No changes. I posted my monthly reflection in YouTube. I mean, in the Discord for free. If you're curious about how I'm looking to move from January to February, I guess I can show. You can take a screenshot or something. That's my personal reflection for the month. So I think lunch hour retracement. Yeah, I would expect so too. After potentially the buy side gets taken. Gatie, I struggle to not overtrade. Any advice? You struggle to not overtrade? What? You struggle to not overtrade? Like you want to trade more, but you can't? Is that what you're telling me right now? What do I do if I have 30 DD left? CPI, bro. Copy trading Gatie is meta. You struggle with overtrading? There's a lot of things that you can do, brother. A lot of things. Should I do a little speech on overtrading? Do a little speech on overtrading? You need to strip down the cause of your flaws. If you're overtrading, you need to ask yourself, why are you overtrading? Okay? Why? Like, strip it down. Are you overtrading because you want to end the day green? Okay. Are you overtrading because you're trying to make more money? Are you overtrading because your model just forms way too many times and you don't know how to filter out trades? Why are you overtrading? That's what I need to know. Before you go, can you show me the video on overlog theory? Sure. Message me on Discord and I'll send it to you. How about that? How was Nasdaq? No positions for me right now. No, everything's closed. I'd be really happy if S&P just tanks here, so then I know I did my best. Just feels good after. I always play with profits from my original setup that plays out and overtrade. Okay, but why is that necessarily a bad thing? Is the issue that you're risking profits trying to make more, or is the issue that you're taking bad trades after? I like risking my profits personally. If there's a valid setup and I'm still in line with the market and I have a good flow state and I'm managing my risk, there's nothing wrong with risking profits. That's probably the best time to be aggressive. You already made money on the day and you're trading on a profit account, which makes perfect sense that you want to be aggressive in that time. Okay, so the issue isn't that you're overtrading. The issue is that you're taking bad trades. Okay, and you end up break even on the day. So this is where you need to start stripping down your flaws. It's not that you're overtrading. There's nothing wrong with taking a trade after you made money on the day. There's no set in stone rule that says, oh, you want to trade, you have to walk away. You're not allowed to take any other trade no matter what. That's a rule if you want to set for yourself, set it. That's not a rule I have for myself. I don't have a restriction on how many trades I can take in one day. I don't believe in that restriction personally. The whole point is freedom. And as long as I'm in a calm mental state and I'm able to see the market clearly, I'll take a trade 10 times if I have to, as long as my risk is managed, right? I'm not saying keep taking losses. If you lose too much, you have to stop, right? Because you don't want your red day to be too big. But if I'm managing my risk successfully and repeatedly, why would I stop trading? I'm doing a really good job. Like if I broke even this trade, I'm going to trade PM session today. I might trade lunch session. I might trade Asia because I managed my risk. I gave myself $100 to work with. So the issue isn't that you're over trading. The issue is that you're taking bad trades. Now, you simply have to ask yourself a simple question. Strip it down. You're going to sit there. You're going to write this out. You're going to say, okay, I have a good strength here. I'm able to make money most of the time. That's a strength, right? I'm able to recognize that I can risk my profits and be aggressive. Okay, that's a strength. But where does the weakness come in? The weakness comes in is I'm risking my profits on setups that are not worth risking profits on. So instead of making more money, I'm actually losing more money long term and risking profits. When I risk profits, I make more money than I lose over the course of a period of time. But when you risk profits, you're losing more profits than you're gaining from what you're risking. Does that make sense? So there's nothing wrong with what you're doing. You just have to openly say it to yourself and like strip it down for what it is. I want to take more trades and I want to make more money. Okay, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But you got to take good trades. If you don't take good trades, then how are you going to make more money? You know? That's all it is. So rather than focusing on the goal, and then, so how do you do that? That comes the question. So how do I focus on taking good trades if I want to risk my profits? Well, it's very simple. All you have to do is stop setting the goal of making more money. Set the goal to continue the process. You got to be process oriented. You say, I want to make more money, so I'm risking my profits. Okay, sure. That makes sense. You want to be aggressive now that you're up on the day. I actually like that idea. You should be aggressive when you're up on the day, in my opinion, right? If you want really good, big winning days, you're going to have to be aggressive at some point, right? You can't just keep taking 1 to R's, and unless that's your strategy, expect to have really good, big winning days. You're going to have to be aggressive at some point. Okay, so set criteria for yourself to be aggressive and ask yourself, what do I need to look for? What process orientation do I need? You know, so what should I focus on? Notice today I was never focused about clicking the TP button. I was specifically focused on not losing money and following my checklist every single time, right? That's it. So that becomes your process goal, and then you take it from there. It's not gonna be a one-day switch, but you have to reinforce that every day. That's why I say the same thing on live stream every single morning. I say the same thing. Today my goal is to not lose this much money and to follow my checklist diligently. And if I find a winner, add to it and make sure my risk is managed. And that's what I did today. And unfortunately, we edged my target. It is what it is. At least I didn't lose money, right? So that's it for me today. I appreciate you guys coming through the live stream. I'll see you guys again live tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow's a little bit easier. This was pretty easy. This was pretty easy. But I will see you guys till next time. Peace.